episode 30 of the World of Screens podcast. On today's show, a very special episode. We're calling this one the Physical Media Bonanza because we are going to be talking all things discs, 4Ks, Blu Rays, special editions, and whatnot with a very special guest. I'm Nick Labarra, the founder and film editor at World of Screens, joined as always by Mr. Peter Gray of the AU Review, certified Rotten Tomatoes critic man, the Bellwether critic, TIFF Toronto loyalist. How are you, Pete? How you going today?
Very well, thank you. I always appreciate a good introduction, but but then the guy that you're introducing next is just like, well, I'm just gonna shit all over that. So
Well, for the first time in World of Screens history, we have a special guest. And when Pete and I were throwing around the idea of a physical media episode, there was literally only one person that we were like, this guy has to come on and chat. We have Dave Lee with us today, of the Dave Lee Down Under YouTube channel, but also in the last few months, 5 to 6 months, has become the disc producer at Umbrella, who we're going to talk and probably fawn over a lot today with what they are doing in the physical media space. But Dave, thank you so much for joining us today, man, to talk all things physical media. How are you? How are you doing today?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for having me on. I should say I am one of many disc producers at Umbrella. So
Sure. Did I say the? I was like, he
yeah,
is the disc
I am
producer.
Umbrella. I am Umbrella. No, I'm one of a few. So
Yes.
a lot of the stuff was produced in-house, and then they kind of parcel out some other stuff to some other guys. So I'm one amongst a pack of incredible team. But I'm doing well, and it's
Good.
good to see you guys. And I'm looking forward to chatting.
We're looking forward to chatting with you. It was a lot of fun because we all know each other. You're based in Sydney. Pete and I are in Brisbane, so we don't actually get to see each other a lot in person. But we all met through Instagram and the film community there, and we all got to see each other recently on the junket. I think we can say we were on the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 junket all
Yeah.
together, and it was just a fun moment when just all the Aussies came into the junket room at the same time, and everyone's like, "Hey!" We're doing the Spider-Man meme, pointing at each other. So, we've known each other for a few years. Yes, yes.
And there was Dickie Wilkins in there with us as well.
There was Dickie Wilkins. I'd love
Yeah.
to say everyone's favorite guy, but that's probably not the case. Um, we saw him later that night for another junket too.
Oh,
It
really?
was it was just as humorous to watch him go through his process. But like I said, with the physical media episode, there was absolutely no one else I wanted to bring on because you are a collector through and through, Dave. You have an extensive physical media collection. You showcase it through your socials, and you're not just a collector of just buying everything that has new release comes out, but you have probably like this history of cinema on the shelves at your place. So I want to start, and I'll throw around to Pete after this as well. But in your physical media, we're talking DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks. How many movies do you have in your collection, Dave?
Pretty embarrassing. I can give you the exact number.
I want the exact
I
number.
have got a,
Absolutely.
and this is up to date because
Okay.
I did my JB Hi-Fi sale haul today.
yeah,
Yeah, as we all did.
yeah.
So they're all scanned and ready to go. We're on 11,461.
Wow.
It's a little bit it's a little bit cheated. It's movies, it's TV, but
Right.
I also include like if a box set has like a documentary that's say over like half an hour, I'll include that as like a
Okay.
movie as well. I
Oh, I
will
think that's fair.
include like if something has multiple versions of the movie in there, I'll catalog them separately.
Mm,
And then if we've got like say a box set of Charlie Chaplin short comedies,
right.
they were technically movies back in the day.
Yeah. Okay.
But it might be 100 in the box. That kind of counts to it. But a lot of that is probably doesn't make up a huge number of that. But
I was gonna
it's yeah.
say when you're talking in the tens of thousands, I think at that point you just get away with being like, no, I definitely have over 10,000
Yeah.
physical items there. Pete, how many do you have in your collection? I mean,
Yeah, let's follow that, shall we?
I'm
Mike.
gonna say though, Pete, your collection comparatively to a lot of people, it's still quite hefty
Yeah.
if you are a
Okay. So
collector.
I wasn't. So this is one of those things. I counted them all,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This is how many I have on DVD. This is how many I have on Blu-ray. This is how many I have on 4K." But then I was also like, I wasn't sure. So, for example, um, the like Game of Thrones. I have the all 8 seasons on its box set, and I'm like, is that 8 or is that 33? Because it's 33 discs over 8 seasons, but one title. So I wasn't kind of sure. So basically,
Okay.
I've just gone with if it's a singular title,
Yeah.
I have 1238.
Wow.
If we're going like individual seasons,
Yeah.
it's 1336. But I haven't not that yeah, 1300. Yeah, I was about yeah. And but I haven't counted like the 30 like I haven't gone to the point of like, well, I've got all 8 seasons of Charmed and that's however many discs. And I've got all
Totally,
8 seasons of that. So but at the moment, going just by discs, like titles, 1336.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I went last. Because so for movies, I have some TV series, but because we moved house recently, they're packed away elsewhere and I have a bit more of a confined space. But I have 1088 exactly of that. I was super happy to pass the 1000 mark earlier this year. Did I break the bank a little bit to get there? Absolutely. Was it the best decision? Absolutely not. But we do
we
it.
all blame JB Hi-Fi. We're like, you can't do buy two get one free and then do 30% off. Are you kidding me? All right, cool.
I said to Nick just before you jumped on, I did the math today, and this deal is better than the buy one get one free that they did mid-year. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. And I was like,
was it like $1.50 or something as well?
Yeah,
like
it was like $1.50.
We're counting the pennies.
Yeah, and like last night, or technically at 2 a.m. this morning, just bought tickets to New York and Toronto next year.
True.
I shouldn't be spending any money, but you know what?
It's gold.
It's gonna happen. Afterpay. Afterpay makes everything feel less expensive.
So you counted yours out, Pete. You went through and counted out the discs.
Yes,
and stuff.
I literally was like, I have 38 Blu Rays on that shelf and like 9 4Ks. I did shelf by shelf. So that's what I counted.
And how do you track it? Where do you put it all down? Do you track individual titles or?
So I downloaded the app that you told me about.
Yes.
So that'll probably be my next mission of actually collating everything, but I actually don't have anything
tracking
written down. The only I write down obviously what movies I watch and what movies are on my to buy list, and then I cross them off once I buy them. But yeah, I don't have like an actual like thing. But now that I know how many I've got, I'm like, oh, that's actually
it's nice to know. Yeah. Because I collect movies. I just use the free version of that. And it works out. I mean, it works for what I want it for, which is just to track titles and whatnot. I was saying to Pete when we were talking about it yesterday, I was like, I don't like that a lot of it is user generated in the sense that people will misspell titles and stuff, and you kind of have to go through and edit a few things. But it is like, that is the least of the worries with the app. It's pretty good. How do you track 11,000 movies, Dave? And how long have you been actually tracking it for?
Oh, I've probably been tracking it for 10 years, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm using the CLZ app, Collector's app.
Yes, I have seen that one,
it's literally like this. You can
get
we can probably do a live thing. You've got a scanner on there, which is probably the same as what you've got, but you've got a scanner on there.
Pretty similar, yeah.
Yeah, looks like it.
I've got like the dark version on, but that's
scan
the
it
same thing,
in.
and then
and then it goes into your collection, right?
Scan that through there, yeah.
So it's all, but I'm like pretty meticulous with it, and these are like all the genres, and I am like micro genreing stuff.
What if you know one off the top of the head? What is the most micro of a genre you've gone? What's the one where you've gone like there's only one movie in that category?
I can tell you. Actually, I can probably sort it by how many movies are in.
I'm very intrigued by this.
In a genre, so the smallest genre I have with like one film. Home theater optimization.
That's brilliant.
What movie is that?
The Dolby disc you put in.
It was like it was the Disney World of Wonder Blu Ray that they put out.
Surely that's a relic. Like, surely that's not available anywhere now, and you might be one of the only people in the world who has it. That is.
It's all on there. I think they charge by the month on this now, but I got it so long ago that I'm like on the grandfathered version.
Yeah. There's no, I mean, it works, right? There's no need to update it.
I think there's like some of the statistical stuff doesn't quite work.
Sure.
As well as it should, but it does what I want it to do.
I was like, is that primarily tracking for you as well? That's just like, I know what I have, how much of then you just start
Yeah,
having stuff. Yeah.
it's pretty much just I track everything that's in the collection, and then I will use Letterboxd to
Mm,
have like watch lists. And
totally.
again, I like micro genre my watch lists of. I've got like a main watch list, which is predominantly like newer movies that I want to watch, and then I've got like classic film, foreign film, etc., etc., and just depending what I feel like I want to watch.
Yeah.
And then through that, I've sort of figured out what I've watched, what I have yet to watch, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. So yeah,
Oh, wow. When did you first get into collecting? Was there a point where you kind of had maybe like 100 discs and you're like, oh, this is something I enjoy, or was it always something that naturally was sort of part of your movie loving sort of demeanor, I guess?
it's I think like well, my grandmother when I was growing up had an extensive VHS collection, and she
Nice.
would just buy anything and
Yeah.
would like lend it out to us.
Oh,
So
that's
we
cool.
would have like big family. So my brother's one of like four children,
Mm.
five children, and then they've all got kids, and so it's a very big family. And my nan would lend out VHS. She'd have them all like written down in like a notepad of like all the titles, not in any particular order. And
Yeah.
then she'd number the tape. And then when you borrowed it, she knew who had that tape
That's
in case it
great.
never came back,
It's
right?
like the original video store. That's
Yeah.
that's gold.
So I think there's probably something in there.
Sure.
And my nan was always watching films,
Wow.
always when I was around, when I was younger. So always some sort of movie on TV, and usually an old film.
Yeah.
So I think my love of movies had probably comes from there. We never really had a huge collection ourselves.
Hmm.
My parents never really bought a lot. I had like all like the Disney classic Disney stuff and it's like Star Wars, Back to the Future, The Truman Show, Big Daddy, Men in Black. These are the ones I just remember having. It was a small collection. It
Yeah.
was predominantly like we'd go to Blockbuster and hire out the five weeklies and the two overnighters, and that was how like most of my early film viewing
Mm.
was. But it was when DVD came in. I remember my dad coming home with the DVD player and a stack of movies. I remember The Blues Brothers, The Emperor's New Groove, and there was a couple of others I can't remember. And then even then it was kind of slow going
Mm.
until because remember when DVD first came in, they were expensive, like 30,
Yeah.
$40, $50 disc. What we're paying for a 4K disc
4K
now,
now. Yeah,
right?
totally. Yeah.
TV series like $150 a season
Oh my
back then.
God.
So it was slow going, but then Easy DVD comes in and they open this corner in the market of cheap DVDs.
Yeah.
And I remember them opening up. And when they did this grand opening at one of the stores, me and my dad went in and my dad just bought like a stack of stuff. And I think from there, it kind of ballooned out. So I would
Wow.
say the collection's over 20 years going on. So I'm mid 30s now, and I reckon we would be heavily collecting for at least 20, 25 years.
Wow.
And I think, yeah, so my dad and I, for the longest time, were like joint collection.
Hmm.
He'd buy some things he was interested in, I'd buy stuff that I was interested in, and
Yeah.
it went like that forever. And then it was like, all right, that's how we've amassed like 11,000 discs, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That and a bunch of stuff that I get sent in from just
Totally.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like the number wouldn't have ballooned that high if I didn't, have the privilege of
Yeah,
getting
for
all this
sure.
stuff
For
coming.
sure.
Um, and my dad sort of stopped buying stuff now, but I'm still going full steam ahead, picking up stuff. And mostly now I'm finding I'm just like updating stuff. But as I update stuff, I get rid of the
The old copy of it.
version
Yeah.
as long as there's not like, if there's special features on the Blu Ray that's not on the 4K, you got to keep them both.
Mm,
But if it's the same, I get rid of the other thing. So
totally.
that's sort of how it's going. You got to curate. It's got to be curated.
It's got to be curated
Helps it
because you're doing that at the moment, Pete, right? You're upgrading a lot of stuff. But when did your I don't even think we've spoken about this, Pete. When did your collecting start?
Yeah. It's very, very similar to Dave. I remember my grandmother just having like she had a lot of like Calamity Jane,
Mhm.
Singing in the Rain, On the Town, like a lot of
Yeah.
classic, like the MGM musicals. Wizard of Oz was like played like all the time. So I remember growing up with that. going to the movies was just something that we just did. Um, and I remember, so I would tape every week that Mum would do the groceries. She would buy a selection of 2 hour and 3 hour blank tapes because obviously I would record a lot of stuff of television. Um, and yeah, same thing with video stores. The let's get 8 weeklies for $10 and be like, yeah, awesome. Um, VHS, like, started to buy a few, same thing, like Lion King, Aladdin, like all the Disney ones. But we had a family friend who worked for so Birch Carroll and Coyle, which was like the original event cinemas.
Yeah, yeah.
And he worked for them, and he got me. So he would get a lot of like free passes. He would get a lot of like the movie posters. So my room was just full. It was like Batman Forever, and like I just had movie posters everywhere. And then he would get. So after the film finished in the cinema, and before it came to VHS or DVD, and obviously remember that was we waited like 6 to 8 months at that point.
Mm.
The movie had been in the cinemas for 6 months. What a time! Then we would wait 6 months for it to arrive. So he would get VHS copies of movies like after they finish in the cinema, but before they'd go on to VHS. So I
Oh.
remember him giving me I Know What You Did Last Summer and Karina on
God.
like a single VHS, and one cover was I Know What You Did Last Summer, and the other was like, so it was one tape, but it
Yeah.
was like
Both
5 hours
movies.
long because it had both movies on it. So he would give us a few of those, and it was all like, this is not for
Mm.
sale, all that sort of stuff.
Totally. Yeah, yeah.
And
Like a
then
screener, right? Oh, it's like
yeah,
the original
basically, yeah,
screener.
the original screener. And then it just, I think, like, because movies was just something I loved, and I always knew that I was like, I wanted to own them. So when DVD came about, I remember Mum buying me my first player for like my birthday. It was like $800 or something ridiculous. Like it was, and they were like they were fucking chunky. But I remember buying one, and it came with Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes as like the free movie you got with it. So I had that. Um, and yeah, just from then on, we just start buying them like, with pocket money, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, totally.
And I amassed like, for a 17-year-old kid, own DVD player, had, like 30 discs. I was like, this is good. Some of those discs I still own on DVD. And I watched one the other day and I was like, still works. If you take care of your shit, they can still work after 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just would buy DVDs. And then when Blu-ray came in, sort of didn't upgrade immediately, just started buying things on Blu-ray. Then obviously 4K, do that. But then when COVID happened, and I had surprisingly a whole wealth of money, I went into like every JB Hi-Fi and was like,
Now's the
let's
time.
let's upgrade some shit. And I just upgraded everything possible. And yeah, and I'm doing the same now. Like if something's out on 4K and I have it on Blu-ray, but I'm like, I think I want this on 4K. Slowly gonna, yeah. And it's so addictive. But you watch something on 4K and you're like, oh my God, this is just the way a movie is meant to be watched. So
You can tell.
yeah, but
You
yeah,
can tell.
Planet of the Apes was the movie that kickstarted and that was kind of like against my will. I was like, "Ugh, it's the one that comes with the player. I guess I'll get it." Um, but we'll obviously talk about it. But I do remember the first. I do remember the first movie that I was like, I'm buying this movie. This is the movie that I want to own and pay $40 for. So yeah,
Back in the day,
yeah,
like, yeah, that's wild to think. Like they were saying, like we pay that now for 4K, but we're getting like 4K quality
yeah,
on those discs.
yeah.
I because I was similar, so I'm not too much younger. I'm 30, so I understand what VHS means. I'm not that young. Um, but I was the same. I remember getting Toy Story 2 when I was 5 years old on VHS, and that was like a
Right.
monumental
When
moment
you
that I could
say
watch it.
5 years old, it's like Oh, God.
I could watch it over and over and over again. My dad would take us to the video store every weekend. So we would watch movies all the time, exact same things you guys. But then I got to work at a Blockbuster. It was my first job. It was the best job I ever had. It's the best job I ever will have. There is no denying the fact that as a teenager, getting to sit there, charge people late fees and watch movies was just like a hell of an experience for a teenage Nick. But it was always being surrounded by physical media. Like I was watching movies before the rise of streaming.
Mm.
So to have to sit there and pick something and be like, well, before working at Blockbuster when I got them for free, but like when you were paying for a singular movie, it was always a risk. And it was almost like, I'm going to have to like really put my thought into what I want to watch. And it's funny, I still do that now with buying them. Like I have 1,000 movies, but they're all movies that in some way I'm like, no, I did like this movie. And even if I own movie 43 for fuck's sake, like that is one of the worst movies ever made. But I remember seeing it in the cinema with a mate and we laughed and it was dumb. And I've watched it since and it's terrible, but it's got a special place in the collection. And there's a tangibility, right? There's like holding it and there's something special about having it there. And I feel like when I pull out a movie and I want to show it to someone, like especially like my partner or a friend, there's like it's like giving a part of myself over to them. There's this like weird connection I have to the physical media because of how important it was and how it was kind of passed down to me. I saw all the movies I probably shouldn't have seen because my dad had rented them out and I just didn't go to bed that night. And he's like, fine, you can come watch like 20 minutes of The Last Samurai, even though you're 7 years old. And I'm like, holy shit, there's people getting beheaded everywhere. And but it was for me. I was like, I knew it was a movie, and I'd opened up these all these new worlds. So I think working in a Blockbuster really kickstarted this collection. When it closed down, sadly, I was taking stacks of movies and putting them through for $1. I mean, they were closing down; they weren't going to miss the money. So I had started my collection very strongly through there, and then it has just continued through them. But since now we've got the rise of a lot of boutique labels and a lot of, especially with 4K, the restorations we are getting, it's for me an opportunity to watch a lot of classic cinema I've missed
Mm.
in a way that, whether or not it may be intended by the filmmakers, but it is a way that is such a high quality presentation. So I feel like I've had a resurgence with physical media probably over the last 2 or 3 years. Like I've been collecting since I was 16, working in the 15 in the video store, but not to the extent that I'm doing it now. So, but I was talking about the first movies we ever got, either bought or as a gift, with my pocket money. For 14.99 at Sanity Capalaba Park, I bought Finding Nemo on DVD, and that was like the first movie I ever bought, and that's a core memory now. So, but Pete, you mentioned you remember your first one. What was the first movie you bought?
First movie I ever bought, Cruel Intentions.
Wow.
Yeah, because I saw that at 15. Obviously, Buffy was everything, and I was like, Sarah Michelle Gellar's a like as a nasty bitch. Yeah. Ryan Phillippe has a sexual awakening. Awesome. And yeah, just saw that, and it was like, it might have been like one of like 8 titles available on DVD in the corner of HMV.
Oh,
Um,
HMV. Yeah, wow.
HMV. But
Huge in the
yeah,
UK still. So for any UK
yeah.
listeners, you might be going, yeah, that's just
That's the thing. You're
that's a
like,
corner
no, no.
shop,
I was like,
basically.
they don't
Born out of
exist
Australia.
anymore. We had one in the city that was open on a Sunday, and that was the best thing ever because anything that was released on a Monday was there on the Sunday. It was great. But yeah, Cruel Intentions. And just I still remember putting it in and having hopefully you'll both understand this, the Dolby Digital helicopter going through the canyon.
Yeah. Iconic.
Yeah, that
Iconic.
would open it up. Best thing ever. So that was my first purchase, and I owned that movie on DVD for a very long time. And then because the Blu-ray is very hard to find,
Right.
and I managed to find it, so that got the upgrade. Anytime they want to release it on 4K, by all means.
Yeah.
What about you, Dave? What was the first one you added to the Jewel Dave and Dad collection? Do you remember?
So my mum would give me like $5 pocket money every week,
Yeah.
and it would be like, you have to spend a certain amount on like lunch at the cafeteria,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and whatever you have left over, you can keep. So The Simpsons finally come out on DVD.
That's so
They were
good.
like $80 a box set, right?
Yeah.
And I think 3 seasons had released, and I saved and I saved and I saved, and I had enough to walk down to Easy DVD and fork over the money and be like, and I was probably like 10, 11 years old. I want all 3 seasons of The Simpsons. And I remember them being like, what? I was like, I want them all. And I couldn't believe it that I come in and like bought 3 seasons of this show. And I think they gave me, I've got like one of my Simpsons books over there. They were like, you can have this for free because you've like bought the three
That's
seasons. So it's the
amazing.
first 3 seasons, and every year they would
Wow.
put out a box set like mid-year, and
Mhm.
so I would spend like the whole year saving up my
Mm.
money to go and get that next Simpsons DVD. So
Do you,
that's where
do
it
you still
started.
have those original
I
DVDs?
do have them. I wanted to bring them on to the podcast, but they're
Sure.
boxed up in the garage behind a bunch of junk. So
Wow.
yeah, I
Oh,
couldn't
that's
get to them. But yeah, I still have them all. And I think they did the first 17 seasons
Mm.
and then season 20 because it was like, hey, 20 years celebration.
right.
So
I
for
remember. I
so
do remember
long,
that box set. Actually, the
yeah.
20-year Simpson box set. Yeah.
So for so long, there was 2 seasons missing, 18 and 19. And
Mm.
then after about 5 years, they were like, hey, season 18's coming out. And then a few years later, season 19 came out, but then they stopped. So that's it. So I've got the first 20.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
that's incredible. And it feels like, especially with our first ones and guess starting the collection, like nostalgia fuels a lot of it as well. You're looking for the things you loved
Yeah.
watching, like The Simpsons, like Cruel Intentions, me Finding Nemo for sure. Like I love that movie growing up, still love it now. But what are you looking for now? Like obviously we've joked, but it's also true about how we kind of buy a lot now, and I'll blind buy titles that I haven't seen because I'm intrigued by them, or I'm upgrading a lot of mine to 4K at the moment as well. What are you sort of looking for? I guess mainly in special editions. If something you're going to spend, say, north of 50, 60, $70 on, what are you kind of looking for in today's physical media?
It's always got to be a good presentation if you're spending that much money.
Mhm.
And I've had words with numerous distributors over the years, like, your presentations you're putting out on this like premium box set is not up to snuff. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I've sent emails like, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
You're spending that much money on it,
Exactly
right?
right.
You want
And
the
even
product.
as like someone who's being sent stuff,
Mm.
I've sent emails like, here's some feedback.
Mm.
You are asking your consumer to spend $60, $70 on this single film, and you have put the worst possible transfer on there. Just
Wow.
because you've been given it by a studio and it's an HD print, if
Yeah.
it's crap, if it's subpar, you should not be charging $70 for that. And
Mm.
I've had words with a few distributors over the years. Some of
Sure.
them have listened to me, some of them haven't.
Mm.
And I think that's like number one. The film has to be good. If you're paying $70 for a 4K box set of something, it's got to be like a really good presentation. Number one, you're paying the premium format. You have to have a premium thing. If you want to
Yeah.
put out like a subpar transfer, do it, but put it on like a bargain $5, $10 release. Don't
What you're selling.
charge $70, right?
Yeah.
That I love bonus features as we all do.
Yeah.
Like, a big part of my love for films and filmmaking came from watching bonus features.
Totally.
I will unashamedly admit The Phantom Menace is one of my favorite movies of all. In fact, I am wearing
The
Amidala.
Amidala shirt.
One of my favorites because they played George Lucas's director's diaries on Channel 10 just before the movie came out, probably a few
Okay.
months before the movie came out, and I recorded it and watched it over and over and over and over and over and over again.
That's so cool.
And then DVDs came out, special features, and I've spent hours of my life poring over bonus features, as you guys have as well.
Yeah.
Making ofs, featurettes, interviews. I watched the hell out of James Lipton's Inside the Actors Studio.
Oh my God, I
I
love
would
that
probably
show,
watch
yeah.
all of them. Yeah, amazing. I'm sure you guys huge inspiration as well.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
just all that kind of archival stuff. If you can get archival stuff on here, and one of the amazing things about doing what I'm doing with Umbrella at the moment is like they go, okay, figure out what other versions of this movie have been released, what
Mm.
bonus features exist out there, what we can acquire and put on there, and go out and find any archival stuff that maybe hasn't been put on a disc. So it's like a dream for me to be able to go like, hey, let's get all of this stuff and just like cram it on. And then they
Yeah.
did the incredible job of putting it all together. So I have
Mm.
people there like content managers who are managing all the content, and then they sort out how to put it on the disc and all that. It's incredible. But for me, it's like if you're charging a premium for a thing, I don't need the posters. I don't
Yeah.
need the art cards and stuff like that. But there was a nice addition.
Totally.
And we're
Yeah.
like sparrows. We like things. We like nice
Yeah.
shiny things. So it's always nice to be able to grab something and be like, oh, I've got these cool art cards. And
Yeah,
it's something that's
absolutely.
like a
Yeah.
little extra value. But then I also love like the booklets with essays. And
Yeah.
if you're charging a premium for something, you got to put like a premium product out. And that's what I'm looking for in stuff like this. Otherwise, I'm happy to go out and spend 10, 15, $20 on just a standard vanilla release. But I'll
Yeah.
pay the money if that product is worth that money.
You there's one I mean we'll show more off soon, but I did pick out a few titles that I think are literally speak to what you were saying. Umbrella's 4K Wake and Fright
Mhm.
is one of the greatest restorations I've seen of a film. This was my first time watching it was on the 4K, and it was truly outstanding. But I watched the video Umbrella released about the restoration process and the pre-scan, the post-scan, and all the things like that. And it is such a vivid film, and watching it on a 4K player on a 4K TV in HDR was just truly phenomenal. And I think I think the care that's get taken into what Umbrella's doing with
Mm.
these sort of 4K restorations is a big thing. For special features, so my Shaun of the Dead Blu-ray and it's a pretty standard. It was just a JB Hi-Fi release they had with these comic book covers.
Mhm.
One of the special features, and whenever people talk about special features and why they're cool or why they're important, I will always say because there is an audio commentary on this version of Shaun of the Dead that is Edgar Wright and Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
They do not
Mhm.
talk about Shaun of the Dead once. For 2 hours, they are just geeking out about their favorite movies, and it is one of my favorite audio commentaries of all time. It is truly,
Yeah.
truly outstanding. And then this one's a bit self-indulgent. Another Umbrella release, but the Terrifier box
Mm.
set,
Yeah. Yeah.
all three. I haven't
Yeah.
admittedly haven't watched them yet on 4K, but it's an incredible collection of all the behind the scenes stuff with the booklet there. But I was asked for my interview with Damien Leone to be on the Terrifier 3 special features. And as a kid, like both of you who was religiously watching special features growing up, that was a dream come true for me. And someone who does fantastic special features, or their films do, is Kevin Smith. Does
Oh yeah. Oh, amazing.
incredible special features where he just, and because the man can talk, he can yap. He is a fantastic storyteller. His audio commentaries are great. The interviews are great. His behind the scenes processes are great. So special features are super, super important. Pete, for you, what are we've been talking for weeks now, months now. You've been upgrading to 4K. You mentioned it before. So what are you looking for now? If you're going to put your money into something, what's important to you about a physical media today?
Um, so like sometimes, I mean, it is frustrating that sometimes the 4K is literally just the 4K movie, and they don't have a lot of them don't have special features, or they don't come with the 4K and the Blu-ray. It's like
Yeah,
just the 4K.
right.
Um, Admittedly, I'll probably still buy it because I'm like, I just want to see the movie in 4K. Because like
Mhm.
once you see a movie in 4K, it's like,
Mm.
fuck, this is just so beautiful. Like I watched The Ring the other night in 4K and was like, fuck, that movie looks beautiful in
Yeah.
4K.
It looks good on
Um,
Blu-ray too, so if it can
like
look
that's it.
better in
Like yeah.
4K, like
Um, but no, I mean special features. Like we are those people that actually go like, you know what? I want to see the deleted scenes and I want to hear the audio commentary. Like I
how
like
good's
so
a blooper reel? Like
Oh,
even a
man,
blooper reel
bring
I love.
bring bring back the blooper. That was one of the great things about the end credits of Freakier Friday that I was like they brought back
They had
the
a genuine blooper
and
reel.
also have got that on order to come in. Because yes, I like many do not like that Disney no longer release things on physical in Australia,
mm.
but we digress.
Mm.
Um, but
I've
no,
had
with
words with
yeah.
them, don't worry. I was straight on to them. What are you guys doing?
I remember you sharing the emails. Actually, I remember you posting the emails about it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you're missing out on such a massive market there. But anyway, but no, like I'm the same. Like if it comes with special features, definitely helps sort of persuade me even more so. Like I when I interviewed Josh Greenbaum for Strays,
Mm.
I told him that I was like, by the way, I was like, I've just listened to the audio commentary of you, Annie Mumolo, and Kristen Wiig for Barb and Star. And he was like, oh, he's like, people still listen to those? I'm like, man, I was like, yes.
We're out here.
And I was like, and it's a fantastic audio commentary because you guys are just having so much fun. But as much fun as you're having, you are giving us like incredible. It's like when you listen to audio commentary and they give you these incredible little nuggets of either like a backstory to a joke or they go, oh, I love what this person in the background is reacting
Mm.
to. You then watch the film in like a whole new way. And then when you watch it without the auto commentary and it's like all you notice is you're like, there it is. That's the joke that now is funnier. That's the background person who does something that I never noticed before, like American Pie, which obviously has just been released in
Mm.
4K and again looks incredible. The audio commentary with like all of the boys is fucking hilarious. And there's one moment where the at the prom, someone sits down and like adjusts themselves, and it's like now watching it, I'm like, all I see is this random extra adjusting himself, and they all like they all laugh at it, and it's just like you feel like you're like a 12-year-old kid again, being like, like it's just I feel like audio commentaries bring out like it's almost like it brings the communal experience of watching it in the cinema,
Totally.
which is also why I loved what the Grindhouse double disc did
Yes.
because it puts
The
the
trailers.
but it puts the audience reaction as an audio as a commentary, so it's got
Oh, that's
audiences
awesome.
watching it. And I was like, that's so fun because you get all of like the laughter and the awes and everything. Like it's just it makes you feel like you're at the movies
That is cool.
watching it, which is where all good movies should be watched first in the
Yeah,
cinema, but then bring them home.
totally.
But yeah, I'm the same. Like, yeah, look, I'll honestly, if it's a good, if it looks great in 4K, that's enough for me. There are some movies that I own on Blu-ray that I'm like, nah, I need to see that on 4K. But it obviously helps when there's extra features and extra features that are good. Like sometimes if it's just like a trailer, I'm like,
Yeah.
I can watch that on. I was like, I can watch that on YouTube. I'm like, give me.
Exactly, yeah.
I was like,
And
give me
it's not
some.
in 4K, it's like a
Yeah,
480p version of the
yeah.
trailer.
Although I really do love, especially like movies from the 80s and 90s that have the trailer, because the trailers are just like,
Wild.
they're, yeah, and it's got like the, like, Emma Robertson, the most romantic comedy of the year. Like, I was like, bring
The
back the
movie
movie
trailer
voice
guy
guy.
voice.
Bring him back. Come on.
I think Ryan Reynolds tried to at one point, but
Well,
Yeah.
but I was
oh,
also, well, Ryan Reynolds, we don't like you anymore. So,
do we? What's he do? Well, I don't know what he's up
I
to.
don't know.
I don't
Anyway.
know what he's up to. But I mean, it's obvious, like for all of us, how important and special physical media is. I'm sure we're all in the same boat of like we love showing people movies. My favorite thing at the moment is in our house. So me and my partner, and we live with our friend at the moment. We do Sunday Scaries, where we watch a horror film. Because my partner, she does not like horror films at all, and I'm trying to desensitize her. But every week I make sure I choose physical media. I've even
Yes.
gone to the point of when they choose a film, I will sneakily buy it that week if I can, just to be like, I want to watch this on a disc. But what we've started doing is we take it in a rotation each week. So if you're the next week, everyone, the other two close their eyes and they get the trailer up for their movie on YouTube, and we'll watch the trailer for
Hmm.
next week's movie. And so I'm just trying to create this cinematic experience at home. Some people call it autism. I don't know. I'll just call it I fucking love movies. But it gets me excited. I think this is the most I've smiled in an episode as well. So it obviously means so much to us. But what I did is I asked you guys to pick out some of your highlights, I guess, in the physical media collection. Dave, I hope it wasn't hard picking from fucking 11,000 of them, but I hope you managed to find something to show us. But I asked, yeah, just to grab a few that either mean to you because it's a movie you love, or you appreciate the restoration if it's a 4K upgrade. But Dave, if you want to go first, what have you got
All right.
in your
I've
bag of
got
goodies?
I've got a tab with a couple of things.
How good. I love it. This is also a great reason why you should watch us on YouTube as well, because you're going to see all of this if
So
you're just listening.
these, well, first off, these are like my first collector's special edition things.
Right, right.
Warner Brothers did this whole range of ultimate collector's editions when they first started doing Blu-ray, however many years ago, 2007, 8, 9,
Right.
however long. It was a lot of their classic movies got this treatment, and I picked a couple. I've got some other ones, but I picked a couple out.
Oh
One of them
my
is my favorite movie of all
God.
time, The Wizard of Oz. These
that
came
is
in these gorgeous. Now
incredible.
these were from these were imported, so these
Okay.
were some of my first imports as well. That just gives you an idea of what's in the box.
Yeah.
These are really kind of the first sort of things that did like big books and art cards and all that kind of stuff. You'd open it up and then all that stuff's in it, right? So Wizard of Oz. This one I just loved as well, the Ben-Hur box. This is special. Oh, Pub's Gone Flying. The Gone with the Wind one.
Hey.
Wow.
Which is
that's
stunning
beautiful.
artwork. It's got this felt covering.
Velvet, yeah.
And the thing that really got me when I looked at this, pulled this off the shelf the other day, we were talking about how some of like a special edition release these days is like limited to 2,000, 1,000 copies.
Yeah.
This thing, limited edition of 150,000. And you bet this thing sold out. This was like really hard to get.
That's
very,
incredible.
very quickly. And again, same thing. Books, multiple discs.
Yeah.
And like the Wizard of Oz one is like 5 or 6 discs, something crazy.
And you've read through these books, like you utilize all that stuff. Yeah. Because you love classic cinema as well. I know you've spoken about it a little bit here, but like classic cinema is something that you're very passionate in.
It is, yeah. So I think like this far into my collection as well, a big part of what I'm doing is curating as you said, like a history of cinema. And sometimes it's stuff that I'm not going to get around to watching for 10 years. Or sometimes it's something that I'm just like, I know this is important to have. And when I, for some reason, need to go to it, it's there.
Yes.
And it's happened so many times over the years, whether it's doing stuff on YouTube or now what I'm doing with Umbrella. It's like I'm covering a specific topic. And I'm like, hey, I've got that film.
Yes.
I can watch it. I can use it. Or again, you can see behind me, books. If this is just all film history, all books on film history. And like most of this, a lot of this I haven't read. But I did one example. I got to do a video essay on the Dogma release that Umbrella's doing about Alan Rickman. And I have his diaries. He published they posthumously published the Alan Rickman diaries. And he has all these diaries from his time on Dogma.
Wow.
I was able to refer to that, and we've included some like excerpts from that in my essay that I've done. So, and then I cover things on YouTube or whatever. I've got stuff that I can refer to. So a big part of it is just like curation. I'll try to be quick, but
yeah, no, you're good.
This is like an example of something newer that's been done. The Columbia Classics ones. These are really weird selections of movies, but it's essentially Sony going through the back catalog of Columbia titles and remastering what they considered to be like the most prestige films.
Right.
So stuff like Jerry Maguire and I'll read these. I picked this one because it's got one of my favorite movies of all time in it, which is It Happened One Night. I
haven't seen it, but I just ordered the Criterion 4K.
Watch it immediately. Watch it immediately. It is one of my absolute favorites. It's one of the greatest rom-coms ever made. The performances are amazing. The writing is incredible. Frank Capra's direction is incredible, and the 4K restoration is a stunner. It's amazing.
I'm excited.
This also got From Here to Eternity. It's got Annie. It's got As Good as It Gets. They also had what was the name of that bloody the baseball movie with Madonna and Tom Hanks?
League of Their Own. Yeah.
So they just like mix and match like stuff like a 30s movie with an 80s
iconic films in their catalog.
Iconic people complain that like, why are you bundling these movies together?
Oh, that's
but
cool.
It makes sense, and these come with a book, and they're amazing. They did 5 of these. They haven't done one this year, so I'm a bit
interesting.
I'm waiting. And then one more. This is another one that Columbia has done, which is the Frank Capra at Columbia box set, which is like how many bloody movies? I don't know, however many. There's got to be at least
And a mixture of 4Ks and Blu-rays, like some they've
Mixture of 4K
restored.
and
And yeah.
Blu-rays. So the most prestigious ones are in 4K, like What Happened One Night, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, Lost Horizon, You Can't Take It With You, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Watch all of these fucking films. But the greatest fucking thing about this, and a lot
Yeah.
of the boutiques are doing this as well, they went back and restored like late 20s, early 30s movies on fucking 4K.
And they just look incredible.
Submarine. This is Frank
Submarine.
Capra's 1928 silent film
Wow.
restored in 4K.
It is cinema history, like preserving.
Incredible
It
stuff.
is, it's truly incredible because, as we all know, over time, if not preserved correctly, film deteriorates. It is a physical thing that deteriorates, but we have this incredible opportunity now
Mhm.
to scan it to a disc that's going to
Yeah.
play in a quality that may not be film nerds, we want the grain and we want that feel, but it is the next best thing, and then we get to hold on to that. Dude,
The
that
great
is
thing about
incredible.
that, I will say, the
Mm,
great thing about all these classic movies getting a restoration now is that these were movies that were never treated well on
Mm.
right.
any media format, right? Some of these studios have never had any kind of reverence for their back catalog and have never given these film Warner Brothers, with notwithstanding,
Mhm.
Sony has always done a really good job with the back catalog.
Yeah.
But so many of these old movies, especially the stuff from the 20s and the 30s, we imagine classic cinema as looking bad
Yeah.
because of the transfers that have been out there for 60, 70 years.
Mm.
And in most instances, you picture like a 30s movie as being really washed out, no, no kind of, there's no quality
There's no
there,
like
no,
vividness
no
to it. There's no,
vividness, no
yeah.
fine detail. It's because the old stuff that was released on DVD and VHS were like fifth generation masters,
Yeah.
which would be the film was scanned to play in a theater 20 years after it was released, and then that film was scanned again when it was released again 20 years later, 10 years later, 20 years later.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
scanned again when it went on television, and then that version was scanned to go onto VHS, and that version was scanned to go on DVD. And each generation you go down, it just deteriorates the image. And now they're going back and scanning these original film elements, and it's like I watched The Big Heat the other day, a classic
Yeah.
film noir, and it's like it's been filmed today.
Wow.
Like you just can see everything. You can see their pores and their sweat, and it's like I remember the first time I bought a classic movie on Blu-ray, and someone's like, "Why are you watching old movies on Blu-ray for?" It's like no quality, but fucking hell, the quality they're pulling out of some of these movies now is amazing. And that Frank Capra box set, if you can get your hand on any of the 4Ks in there, like It Happened One Night, put
Mm.
that on, and it is like it was shot yesterday. Amazing stuff,
Incredible.
incredible stuff. So that's my stack there.
What a stack. Pete, what have you got? Hit us up.
Yeah, thank you for letting me. Um,
It's 11,000. He was gonna have some
no, 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 I
bangers in
know.
there.
No, but I first of all I do because I bought The Wizard of Oz on 4K and I bought Rope on 4K because
Mhm.
I'm starting
How
to.
good is that rope transfer? Oh
Oh my
my god, it
God! But
looks
like
incredible.
I'm starting to
Crazy.
like have a whole. There's a whole bunch of like older stuff that I just want to buy, and yeah, Rope on 4K is just
It's
Yeah.
outstanding.
stunning and also incredible film.
Oh,
Like
that was your
I
first time watching it,
I
right?
hated that I'd never seen it before, but I was watching
Wow.
it like when I was like, oh, I was like, I love the fact that I was like, these guys are gay as fuck getting away with this
No,
much
no,
money.
totally. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a
Oh,
whole
it's so
thing.
good.
But yeah, so I chose. Okay, first of all, this
Yes.
is DVD, but it was one of those ones that, like, look, if I would love for this to be a Blu-ray upgrade at some point, because obviously we got Lois and Clark recently,
Yeah.
and Dean Cain nonsense aside, Lois and Clark is a fantastic show. And I'm so grateful that it actually got a Blu-ray upgrade. And I actually never saw the ending of that show, so it'll be really great to rewatch that. But I just wanted to quickly pull out that this, as a Buffy fan, this is something that I'm very happy to own
Very
because
nice.
it does this, which is great. So it opens the top, flips down all 7 seasons like that. So
That's
that's
awesome.
like I'm very happy with. But they're all like really small like
Yes.
thin discs
I
as
loved
well.
I loved when they would do that. Like my dad
Yeah.
had the X-Files DVDs and it
Yeah.
would spell the X-Files across the spine.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's like something that I'm like,
Yeah, go Dan.
love to own that.
Get what you need
Oh,
to get.
you gonna get it as well?
I don't know.
What?
What other tricks in the bag?
My show and tell time's over, but that's reminded me of this boy. The King of Queens box set on DVD.
Right. Oh,
Oh
no, yeah,
my
no.
god.
Yeah.
Have you seen this, boy?
I haven't. No.
This is my favorite TV box set of all time. Great show. One of my favorites.
It is a funny show.
Back of the car
Yeah.
opens up.
Yeah.
There's a season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh
Continue.
my god.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just
And obviously, like some of my favorite movies, like
Mm.
you know, Death Becomes Her, Batman Returns,
Yeah.
Scream, obviously have those in 4K and Blu-ray and stuff. But
Just watched Scream on 4K a few weeks ago. It looks
oh
incredible.
my god, so good. But the ones that I chose mainly because these are very either extremely hard to find now,
Mhm.
or were just hard to find for me to get. But so obviously in 2007, there was a movie released that nobody saw called I Could Never Be Your Woman with Michelle Pfeiffer and Paul Rudd. I even mentioned it to Paul Rudd and he was like, how have you seen that movie? And I'm like, because it's amazing. I think it's now on it's on Netflix it's on something now. And I'm like, it is honestly, it is one of the greatest, like quirkiest romantic comedies. Everyone should see it. I blindly bought it on DVD,
Mm.
but then found out that in like Germany, it's on Blu-ray as
As
whatever that.
Hochstadt verliebt.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that on Blu-ray
Great.
because I want to own that movie because it is really, really hard to find on any sort of form of physical media. But it's an incredible romantic comedy, which everyone should see. The other one was, and I was very happy that I found like this in this format. So the back says "Hell Yes" because it is a steelbook
Oh,
of
it's yeah. Jennifer's
Jennifer's
body.
body. So I was very happy to get a steelbook of that. That cost me like $80 on Amazon, but I did not care
The
because
collector's item at this point.
Jennifer's
Yeah.
Body, incredible film. Obviously comes with like the slippy thing. And this is now also, I don't know how easy this is to find, but so World War Z,
Yeah.
but opens up
Flip
to
out.
like the
I mean,
special features, the
Yeah.
Blu-ray and the 3D version,
But there's
And-
also the uncut version. There's like the
uncut version,
bloodier version of it, yeah.
and then comes with
Which wasn't released in cinemas.
well,
That was always one of my favorite things when I was first buying them. And it was a
It
huge
comes
thing in
with
the 2010s. Like
the
the
art
book, yeah.
of the film, which is like all of the like
Oh,
the
that's
story
cool.
of the with all that.
It was
So
the-
that's
it's always the versions that was like it came out like the version not seen in cinemas.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember like The Hangover was one of the first major ones that people were like, oh,
That
there's
was-
this wild version of The Hangover.
because that
That's
one,
rated
yeah, because that's
R18.
it's our yeah. Same with I don't know how
Spy.
easy it is to get now. Spy.
Yeah.
Spy came out on Blu-ray as an R-rated version.
Because it was
and you
yeah,
and you
it had
watch it and
one
you're like,
scene.
oh, this has like full frontal male nudity, which is why it's rated R. And the other one that just reminded me, and this is one I am going to buy this on 4K because the 4K comes out very soon. But for so long it was unavailable in Australia, so I imported Sleepy Hollow
Ooh, nice.
in this incredible like version,
Nice.
which comes with like a whole history of like Sleepy Hollow.
That's so good.
So I was like, a part of me is like, I think I'm just gonna buy the 4K and then put the disc into this case
The
because
case.
that is
That's a nice
stunning.
case.
So those are just some of the ones that I was like, yeah, really difficult to find, and that's also another reason why I kind of buy like, yes, it's great to wait for when JB Hi-Fi has a sale because you know that they will at some point, but it's also really sometimes a risk because when things get released, you're like, I don't know how long this is gonna
Be around.
last because some things literally sell out and they're like, yep, that's it. So I've now gotten to the point where I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just pretty much going to buy
By
as
what
soon as
you
something comes
want
out.
is, yeah.
And also, yeah, now I'm at that point where I'm like, look, maybe the movie is shit or I only mildly enjoy it, but I actually want to own everything as much as possible. So,
Yeah.
like, literally the other day, Prom Night, the remake,
The 2007
pretty
version,
shit
yeah.
movie. Haven't seen it in like 20 years. I'll obviously rewatch it and be like, maybe was it as bad as I thought? But it's in like, it comes with like the art cards and everything. And I don't know what JB Hi-Fi was on, but it's like $55 on its own. But then it's part of the two for $30 sale. So I was like, I'm just gonna do that and basically get this
That does
movie
not
for
seem profitable
free.
for Frito-Lay.
Yeah. So I did that. But yeah. So I'm just gonna buy all of the things and buy movies that I haven't seen and just gonna blindly buy them,
Yeah.
which is what I did with like Rope and the original Running Man and things like that. So yeah, very, very, very happy that but I'm so excited with like Umbrella and Via Vision and stuff that they're just bringing out all of these movies that just never had a chance
In Australia
in
as well.
Australia that we either like were on DVD and then just disappeared. And like yeah, when in some of the 4K upgrades, I'm like, yes, they're expensive, but I just sometimes I don't it's like I don't care. I'd rather spend money on it and own it. And then you can just rub it in people's face and be like, oh, it's not on streaming. I'm like, sucks for you. I'm really
This
sorry
is
that you
my
can't.
streaming.
Yeah, I'm
This
sorry that
is
you can't
my
watch that.
it's
That's I
Netflix.
That's the other that is the other thing though, when like people say like, oh, but you can just watch it on streaming. I'm like, no, you can't, because not everything's available on streaming. And as we know, it'll get
Comes and
taken away.
goes. Yeah.
Like, yeah. And if your internet goes out or there's an outage, you can't watch shit.
This
So
happened to me last week. We
yeah,
had they were doing works, they hit the NBN line, we had no internet for 2 days.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
still watched like 5 movies
Yeah.
and it was great.
But just quickly before you show off yours, Nick, I just wanted to, so because you talking about Dave, you were talking about how like your grandmother would like lend things out to you, and I wanted to ask this because I am such a like I'm a stickler for this. I don't know if you both of you do it. I will never lend out a movie to anybody. If someone wants to watch something, I'm like, come to my house.
Nope.
I do not lend shit out. I don't like my movie even being played in another person's player. I am like, nah, because
It's cheating.
I know how I handle my discs,
Yeah.
and other people don't have that same mentality. And like I remember copying as a kid, I copped a lot of shit because it's like, why can't you just lend it out to me? I remember I lent out one title and never got it back, and I was
That's
like,
how it
this is
happens.
why. I was like, miscongeniality is still fucking out there. Um, but yeah, I just was wondering if I'm alone in that. But I was like, yeah, I will never ever lend out a disc because my fear is like wanting it back and then like going to their house and they're just like, oh yeah, it's like still in the player. I'm like, you don't take it out of the player after it's done? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. So yeah.
Straight back in the
But I was
couch.
just wondering, you both like shook your head like I'll never lend something out, so that kind of
I
answers.
lent a copy of Scrubs season 1 to a friend in high school. It came back scratched to shit.
Yeah,
And after that, it was like no one else is lending anything. And then
yeah.
my mum was like, "Have you got this movie?" I was like, "Yeah, but oh, someone at work wants to watch it." I was like, "They're not taking it." And eventually, she like managed to get it, and it didn't fucking come back. And then, this is a funny one.
Yep.
My auntie borrowed a bunch of movies for my younger cousins many
Mm,
years ago, and they just never came back. And I just thought like it was stuff that I had on Blu-ray, but she borrowed I gave her the DVDs.
mm.
It just never came back. It was like, it'd be nice to get that back one day. Anyway, scrolling Facebook one day, here comes up a marketplace post with my auntie selling off a bunch of stuff, and there's my DVDs straight on the front. Like, what are you doing?
Oh
You're getting rid of my
my
DVDs. So, oh,
God.
sorry, didn't realize. Just
No.
That's just like stuff like an honest mistake.
Yeah,
So they
but
probably had it for so long, and it's just
they
like,
just yeah,
The
but
furniture by
it's like,
now.
yeah, no, I
yeah.
can't, I don't do it.
No.
No way. No.
I am the same. I do not let people borrow because I have rebought titles that haven't come back and I don't want to do that anymore. So
Yeah.
I think that is fair. I'm going to quickly grab one off the shelf that I remembered really quickly, and then I've got two or three to show, and then we'll wrap on up. But that is disgusting how quick I knew where those were. So I'll save that one for last. So, funnily enough, we were
I
talking.
mean, ours are all in alphabetical order, right? That's how
That
I know
is
what you're thinking.
that is it. So one thing I love about, and I sort of mentioned it before about how there was that massive trend of like you can get the version that was never seen in cinemas. I
Mm,
love the idea of director's cuts and theatrical cuts as well. I literally
mm,
just picked this up today, and I've never seen it before, but I picked up the imprint Wolf Creek. The 4K restoration is for the director's cut, which I've never seen the director's cut of Wolf Creek. I've only seen the traditional theatrical cut, which comes in this fun little case. But I was waiting for the Black Friday sales to buy this because I will watch the extra 6 to 8 minutes of footage that Greg McLean really did not want us to see in cinemas, or the censors didn't want us to see in cinemas. Um, and one of my favorite movies of all time is Donnie Darko, and I've had this in DVD, Blu-ray, and just upgraded it to 4K this week, and that has a theatrical and an extended edition as well. And the extended edition, I don't know how well versed in Donnie Darko lore you both are, but it is a very dense director's cut that
Yeah.
really goes into a lot of the stuff about time travel and
Mhm.
how that affects the story of Donnie Darko. No spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it. I have the special edition of Parasite. I had this on normal Blu-ray when it came out, but this is the 4K version of it, which, of course, I mean, we can all agree Parasite is just an incredible film.
mhm,
But this special edition came out about 2 or 3 years later, and it
mm,
has some of the art cards in a nice envelope there, but it has the 4K version, which it looks, I mean, it's Bong Joon-ho, it looks outstanding in 4K. But on Blu-ray, and I'm yet to watch it, is the black and white version
Yeah.
of Parasite. Have you seen that? Have you watched the black and white version at
Haven't
all?
seen the
You
haven't
guys?
seen the black and white one though.
Always intrigued when directors want to do something like that. Like obviously, George Miller did it
mm,
with Mad Max and with Fury Road and stuff, and Logan had a Logan Noir version, the obviously the Wolverine film. So I'll put that away later. That's going to be
It's a new version of Nightmare Alley, Guillermo del Toro's version.
mm.
The
right.
Criterion version has like a director's cut that's in black and white. I'm like so
Incredible.
keen to get my hands on that.
Very, because that is an underrated film. That is a
Mhm.
great movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my letterbox top four is Warrior. Viavision just brought out the 4K of this. It has art cards as well, but I really just wanted it for the 4K. This one's special to me because it's the first time I cried in a movie theater. And I will remember that day forever. And it's just an incredible film. And the last one is you mentioned Criterion Collection. I have a couple of Criterion collections. I have a lot of standard Criteria Collection Blu-rays and 4Ks, but I've got Etamama Tabien and it's in the box set. But the special features, well, the first thing is it's a Blu-ray version because I bought it probably about 8 or 9 years ago. But it's one of the director approved. It did have the director approved seal on it, which means Alfonso Cuarón has gone through and approved the Blu-ray scan of this as well. Um, but it has incredible interviews with the cast and with Alfonso Cuarón. But there's also a really great documentary about the making of this film on there, um, which it just kind of gives a lot of context to like where Mexico was at the
Mm.
time this movie is set, and it's a classic. Like it's, I know a lot of people will just like demean it in as like the horny road trip movie, and it's horny and it's a road trip movie, but having watched it a few times now, it's definitely one where I'm like, I want to show more people
Mm.
it's Mama Tabien because it's incredible. But Criterion do some really cool things. Again, like I hate my money apparently, so I watched the Martin Scorsese documentary on Apple TV, 5 incredible episodes about his career, and I went through eBay, Amazon, everything, and bought every. It's not in the collection yet. It's kind of sitting around there somewhere. I'm sorting them all out. Every Martin Scorsese movie that I didn't have Blu-ray 4Ks and one DVD. But the Irishman Criterion Collection is incredible, and I had to get a 4K copy of Killers of the Flower Moon from Italy because it is the only place in the world that released a physical media copy of that film. I'll close on this. This is well and truly near and dear to my heart. It's not that it's hard to find. I just don't think a lot of people are buying it. It's a self-distributed film. Um, I'd maybe Dave, you might have this. I don't know. Tommy Wiseau's The Room on Blu-ray. This is one you don't have.
I keep eyeing it off on Amazon. I don't have it yet. I
He
have
does
to
not
expecting.
usually put it on sale, old Tommy. He does not. He likes his money. But it's a bit faded now, but he signed it. Oh, you can't really see it, but it says Love Tommy Wiseau. And then I got a signed headshot that says to Nick, Love is Blind, Love Tommy, USA, 5th of the 5th, 2016. So I've almost had this Blu-ray for 10 years now. It is not a good transfer at all, but this is cinema history. If we're talking about preserving cinema history, this is a part of it. So that is some of the highlights from my collection. Uh, we're running out of time. Before we go, if you can surmise it in one sentence, Pete, we'll start with you. If someone wants to start collecting physical media, how should they start? What do you think is a decent piece of advice to give someone who wants to give this thing a go?
Um, I mean, I think you just have to like. I know that a lot of people sort of say like, "Oh, I like, I like movies. That's why I have so many streaming services." I'm like, it's complete. It's just an entirely separate thing. Like, you just, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can convince someone to start buying physical media in the kind of climate we're in. I think
Sure.
if you're a physical media fan, you're already doing it. Like I would love to be able to say the sort of things of like, well, what happens when your internet stops, and what happens when streaming services get too expensive, and what happens when that movie that you bought digitally disappears, and what happens when the movie is no longer streaming. Like, I'd love to be able to just continually put that out there and make people realize that yes, you know, maybe you're paying $18 a month for however many movies on whatever streaming service, but you're like, and compared to spending $40 for one movie sort of thing. But like, you just have to look at it and go, but if you love this movie so much and it's not available for you anywhere, or it's available on streaming, but you have to know that it's not going to be there forever. Like, just just buy it, and you will. I think you just almost want to be like, just watch it on disc and realize how much better it looks. And if you love it so much, then you'll want to start knowing more about it. Yeah, I would honestly love streaming services to not, yeah, but it's not, unfortunately, not the way of the world. Um, but I just think if you genuinely love cinema, you will understand the difference in visual quality, audio quality, in hearing about all the different facets of the film, from makings of and deleted scenes and like extended cuts are only things you can get on. Yeah, I think if you just love movies that much, this should be a no-brainer as to why you should be collecting. But it's really unfortunate the amount of like younger people who are like, oh wow, people still buy discs, and I'm like, yes, you
I think
fuckwit.
it's making a resurgence, though. I think it's making a cultural
Well,
resurgence.
the amount of things that I see of like this many, this is how many DVDs being sold, and this is how many Blu-ray, like it's getting larger. And you look at like one thing that does make me really happy is when you find out that like the Sinners Steelbook sold out
Hmm.
before it even went on. Like, it's little
Just didn't
things like
make it
that
to
that I go,
shelves. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm like, people are buying movies, and maybe like it's the younger generation that don't really see the value. Maybe it's because we grew up like video stores were our way into it, and
Hmm.
owning movies is kind of what you had to do before there was streaming. So maybe it's just of a certain age thing. But then there is also the conversation I'm hearing about kids who like that us growing up didn't have everything online, and so I think it's going to take like something massive with streaming services. Maybe the prices just get too much that it becomes a thing where everyone just starts wanting to own their movies. But yeah, I just think if you love movies that much, there should be no question that you should be collecting. And with what all of these boutique stores are doing, there's no reason for you not to own something you love, not to start watching things that you don't know about. Like the fact that all of this classic cinema is now being more and more available because like they're not on streaming services. Like what movies from the 70s are maybe the oldest thing on streaming services. Like and you just want to say, do you know how many movies were made before the seven? Like, people just don't. It's like it's that mentality of if it's not on a streaming service, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, well, you're wrong. And more people probably tell you you are.
You are, yeah.
So yeah, I just think if you love movies that much, get onto it.
Until the streamers fall, we will fight the good
Yeah.
fight.
That's the irony of that Julia Roberts movie being on a streaming service, talking about what happens when you don't have like the internet, and they're all like, "We now have to watch DVDs." I'm like, "Come on, come
Not a
on!"
bad film. Leave the World Behind. Didn't mind
Yeah,
it. Dave, some closing wisdom from the man with 11,000. Where if someone wants to get started, where do you think that they should?
So not everyone has to have an 11,000 movie collection. It's a stupid number. It's a stupid number. And you guys did like 1,200. Like I kind of like feel like that's a nice tight spot to be because it's manageable, right? This collection is just like ballooned so much that it's hard to manage.
Yeah.
But I have had this question a lot over the years, particularly with doing stuff on YouTube and whatever else. Like, how do I start? How do I get such a huge collection? It's like for me, I didn't get 11,000 movies overnight.
Yes.
It's like I've been collecting for the best part of 20, 25
Yeah.
years. Start slow. If you can only afford DVD, start with DVD. Buy what you can afford. My thought has always been you buy the best that you can afford. So if you can afford a 4K disc, if you can afford to chill out a bit for a 4K disc, buy the 4K. Blu-rays are amazing still. I've heard
Yes,
people say
agreed.
Blu-rays are just awful. No, they're just so shit. And so they're not. Blu-ray
No.
HD is great.
Yeah.
But 4K is like just a real pure cinematic experience. And if you can afford the luxury of being able to afford that stuff, buy it, right?
Totally.
And I've always said start with your favorite movies,
Yeah.
and buy the stuff you really love. If you still think stuff is a bit too expensive, wait for sales. There's always multi-buy sales. There's percent off sales. For example, I buy so much of the stuff that I wait for a lot of stuff to go on sale.
Yeah.
So, for example, here's just 3 random ones I pulled out from my recent JB Hi-Fi haul.
Nice. Yeah.
Stardust Moon, 40-year-old Virgin on 4K. These are all upgrades, so I'll probably get rid of the Blu-rays if I don't need them. Looks like Stardust doesn't have bonus features, so I might be holding on to the Blu-ray. But like these are really expensive. $35 each for just like a standard release 4K. But these are in a buy two, get one free plus 30% off, and they came to like $17 each, which is a nice spot.
Yes, totally.
If that's a more reasonable number for you, wait for sales. Stuff like special edition box sets. I've just got some random umbrella stuff sitting next to me, like this.
Oh, that Freaks one is cool. Yeah, yeah.
This box set is amazing. Something that you know is not going to sit around for long, and you've only got a short period of time to get your hands on it. Splurge a little bit, pick that one up, treat yourself. But it's a slow game.
Yeah.
Just take it easy. Rely on those sales. Buy what you want, and then eventually, if you want to get to the point where you're just blind buying stuff, but I think there's a fun in blind buying. Like you,
Totally.
There is
the vast majority of my stuff has started as blind buys.
yeah.
I've probably got like 2,000 titles in my collection that are probably more than that I haven't watched. Let's be honest, right? And I'll get around to at some point. So blind buys are always fun. Pick up something here and there that you haven't seen that you want to watch. But there's also a really great like secondhand market now online from people who have looked after their discs. I would like before maybe the last couple of years I've been like I don't want to touch secondhand, but I find that a lot of secondhand stuff is actually pretty good. And you can
Great.
get stuff for $5, $8 on eBay, going to Savers or Vinnie's or any of the op shops, and you can find secondhand stuff for a couple of bucks. I walked into the Brotherhood the other day and they had all of these imported like UK, US boutique discs in there. Stuff from like Eureka and Imprint, not Imprint, Indicator. There's some Criterions, and they're like a couple of bucks each. and you pay 20
So good.
$30 for some of these, like at best online. So just keep your eyes out, look for stuff, get the stuff you want, wait for sales. It can be quite affordable, and like one of the big complaints I hear from people who are not happy that Disney are not releasing stuff physically in Australia anymore is that there's no possible way for me to get this stuff anymore. But you can still import it. And if you keep your eye on Amazon during like Black Friday sales or Amazon Prime Day sales, the UK discs go very cheap. So you can
Very
get
cheap.
Blu Rays for like $13. The 4Ks go for $25, $30 of stuff that's not being released locally.
Yeah.
So you can, I'd obviously rather go into an Australian shop, JB Hi-Fi, and pull off the latest release from the shelf, but there's still a way to get it. So
Yes.
you got to open horizons, find all these different places you can get stuff. And I've been importing for probably 20 years. Like I said, like the Gone with the Wind set and the Wizard of Oz stuff. I've been so used to importing stuff. It's like second nature to me. And it's not expensive to import these days.
No.
Sign
No.
up for Amazon Prime, and through Amazon Australia, you can be importing stuff from Amazon UK and US really cheaply
Really
with
very
free
cheaply.
shipping. So it's like there's all these avenues you can build a really great collection, and it's never too late. It's
No.
never too late to start building your collection of cinema. Do it.
And you don't have to be a psycho like us and import the Italian version of Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. I concur with everything both of you said. Like, start with the things that you love. Start with the movies that mean something to you. I think is a great way to start. Dave's been doing it for 25 years. Pete's been doing it for over 2 decades. I'm at least 15 years since I bought the majority of my first movies. Like, Rome wasn't built in a day. But if this is any sort, if someone is looking for the inspiration to do it, I'm not aspire to be us, but no, just know, like, we didn't do it overnight, and we have built that appreciation over time. We probably have done more blind buys in the latter half of our collecting history than we did in the first half of it anyway. So that is important as well. So this has been one of the most fun episodes of any podcast I've ever done. This has been great. I haven't smiled this much recording in a long time. So thank you so much, Dave, for coming on, man. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for showing us some cool shit in your collection. If people want to find the stuff you're doing online, where can they find you? Where do you want to direct them to? What do we have to look forward in the Dave Lee universe coming up soon?
Dave Lee Cinematic Universe. Thank you for having me on. It's been awesome. I don't do a lot of podcasts because I just don't do a lot of them. But when you reached out, I just it was like an immediate. I didn't have to think about it. So thank you for asking me on. This has been awesome. Any chance to chat with the two of you guys and sit? This is probably the longest we've sat and just geeked out.
Geeked out, yeah.
Fucking awesome. So thank you for asking me to come on. It's really cool. You can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under. I'm not doing a lot of YouTube stuff at the moment. I'm trying to do a little bit more, but I'm trying to really focus on what I'm doing with Umbrella at the moment because it's just awesome. But you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. I'm active on Twitter, ruffling feathers over there. And Instagram is where I share most of like my physical media stuff now. And yeah, so that's what you got to look forward to. And I'm working on some cool stuff with Umbrella. Let me tell you, some cool stuff is coming.
I know Pete and I are eyeing the Dogma release. We cannot wait. And then
the Dogma release is amazing. They produced that in-house, and I contributed to that. So I didn't produce that one, but I did a essay and a video essay for that, which is like a dream. Amazing. But I'm producing some cool stuff, and I'm bringing my 25 years of expertise on what I want as a movie collector to the sets that I'm producing to Umbrella. And the great thing is everyone working for Umbrella is in the same mindset too. And we're just pulling together some really, really cool stuff. One of my titles is going to be, when's this podcast going out?
Tonight, if possible. So I know
I won't say much, but one of my first major release, which I've been allowed to speak about, is getting announced tomorrow, but we have got some really cool stuff coming on that disc. I've been able to produce some really amazing on disc and in book stuff. It's like the definitive release of the movie. I want to fluff my feathers. And we're working with some really cool people on it as well. I collaborated with some very cool people, and it's a cool release. And if you love Australian cinema, this movie's beautiful. But I'm working across. I think I'm producing 10 titles at the moment. I've worked across maybe 15 titles in like 5 or 6 months. So there's
Amazing.
some cool stuff coming.
Pete, I know you got to run, so where can we find you? And then we'll let you go.
Yeah, Instagram, X at rated PDG, Rotten Tomatoes, GRAY, and all of the interviews and reviews on the AU review. And yes, in about 8 hours, I'll be logging in to Miss Amanda Seyfried. So
Oh, yes.
very excited for that one to talk about the Testament of Anne Lee. Woo!
I want to know nothing. I want to hear zero.
But yeah, so you can find me on those channels.
Amazing. I am at NickSflixFix on Instagram, X, and Letterboxd, and most importantly, head to worldofscreens.com, subscribe to the emailing list there, and at World of Screens on Instagram, it's Wicked for Good Week. We have a lot of stuff for Wicked for Good that has dropped on the site there. Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed. It's a bit of a different episode, but we hope you've enjoyed it. We hope it's either inspired you to start a collection and smartly do it with your money. Do not come at us when you are $1,000 in the hole because you brought some really fun 4Ks. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you on the next episode of the World of Screens podcast.